We need to talk about the Forbidden City. Imagine the world's largest palace complex in the world with nearly 10,000 rooms, most of them forbidden. Built to house emperors, their families, and their officials. For over 500 years, it was the center of power and secrets in China. But what makes this place even more incredible is the mystery and purpose behind its walls. Who had this idea? In 1406, the emperor wanted to build a symbol of his power and authority, so he asked a talented engineer to design it for him. First, they chose the site. Beijing was already an important city, so it was a logical choice for the emperor to place it here. Plus, the site had mountains to the north for protection and a river to the south for prosperity and energy flow. On the other hand, based on cosmology, the palace was placed at the heart of Beijing to symbolize that the emperor was the representative of a heavenly power on earth, like a god. The entire city was planned following ancient Chinese beliefs about the harmony between man and nature. This Chinese system is what we call Feng Shui. If we see the master plan from above, the city was aligned with the cardinal directions and positioned along a north-south axis, like a grid, with the main gate facing south to capture the energy of the sun. After that, they placed the buildings on the grid to be symmetrical, and they divided it into two main parts. The inner part for meetings and ceremonies, and the outer part for the emperor's family. On the inner part, at the heart of the city, they placed the Hall of Supreme Harmony, which is the tallest and most important structure, representing the emperor's absolute power. They were so obsessed with the placement that even the emperor's throne was placed at the exact center of the palace. For the outer part, the emperor was living with his family away from the public eye. According to the legend, the Forbidden City has exactly 9,999 rooms. In Chinese culture, the number 10,000 was considered heavenly, so the emperor's palace had one room less, showing his nearly divine status. Each room had a very specific purpose, and many remained hidden deep inside the palace, meant only for the emperor, reinforcing the idea of him as a god. Here is where we start to understand why it was called Forbidden City. The emperor lived a secluded life in this city with a controlled circle of people. This allowed him to maintain his mystique and authority, making him more remote and powerful in the eyes of the people. Not only that, but many also believe that there's a secret extra layer of tunnels built beneath the palace, allowing the emperor to move without being seen. Now let's talk about one of the most representative symbols of this architecture, the colors. If we use an image as a reference, this would be the palette for the Forbidden City. White for the stones on the floors and marble bases as a technique to prevent fires. Reds for the wood, a very traditional material in Chinese architecture for the beams and columns as well as the walls. Red represented the highest amount of yang, as in yin-yang, energy. This color is used for good fortune in Chinese culture. They use it at weddings, for the new year, or celebrations. Golden for the roofs with yellow glazed tiles, as this was the color associated with the emperor, so much so that the emperor decreed that yellow could only be used for imperial palaces, temples, and tombs. All of this took 14 years to build, and over 1 million laborers. Of course, skilled workers were brought from all over China to ensure the highest quality. Despite its huge scale and complexity, it was built remarkably fast. The Forbidden City remains a symbol of China's rich history, a palace where emperors ruled and the country's future was decided. With nearly 10,000 rooms, perfectly aligned buildings, and countless secrets, it continues to amaze visitors and historians alike. Though we may never uncover all its mysteries, the Forbidden City stands as one of the world's greatest architectural achievements. If you want to know more about the interiors of what was happening inside the walls of the Forbidden City, let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.